Welcome back, Unpeelers. The New York Mets spring training has officially come to a close. Yesterday, the team took to the Carrier Dome for their final workout before the baseball season begins. If you haven't noticed, no more Landon Wexler here with me. We have Syracuse Unpeeled sports reporter Chris Sacchi, who joined the fans in the festivities. Let's take a look.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets, step right up and greet the Mets.
Last October, the New York Mets organization changed their AAA team from Las Vegas to right here in Syracuse. And what better way to get fans excited about the new squad than to bring the Major League Mets to a landmark in the 315.
Wow, look at these. These are awesome.
When we got here, we saw the stadium, we felt the energy from the crowd, and we loved it. We loved every second of it, and we definitely enjoyed ourselves out there.
Our fans, our New Yorkers, seeing our players is probably the most special part of it, because there's going to be an energy here, and I think New York fans are going to be here cheering on their team.
That was awesome. Like I said, we didn't know what to expect, so just to see how many people came out, it was definitely a great feeling, and they filled us with a lot of energy, and we felt it.
Moving from Vegas to the Cuse will make travel between the AAA Mets and the Major League Mets much easier. No longer will we have to hear horror stories like what happened here to outfielder Brandon Nimmo.
After the 6-hour flight to Las Vegas, I had a voicemail saying, hey, you're on the 10 o'clock flight and we need you back in New York. So I got right back on another flight, another 6 hours back to New York, and got in at 6 a.m. and played that night. So this is going to be a big change, but a positive change for the guys, being able to be this close to New York.
All the energy and excitement allowed fans and players to forget about the displeasure that a lot of guys had with coming up to Syracuse just 2 days before the start of the season. Noah Syndergaard vocalized his complaints to the media, saying that this is not what championship teams normally do. By the end of the workout, though, he was a happy camper and waved the white flag on his complaints.
That's Noah. He's great. I think that he understands how special this was to all the fans, and he wanted to do something special.
Whatever Noah says, what he said, you could tell out there he was having a good time.
In front of a crowd of 4,296, the Mets and Syndergaard certainly had themselves a good time before the start of their season. From the Carrier Dome, Chris Sacchi, CitrusTV.
From the Carrier Dome to here, we have Chris Sacchi. Now, you did mention some controversy about some of the players making the trip out to Syracuse. What more could you tell us about that?
Well, Justin, imagine this travel schedule. You drive 3 hours across the state of Florida to get to your last spring training game. Then you fly from Sarasota, Florida to Syracuse, New York, which is of course, we all know this is a very long amount of time. And then you're delayed 3 hours on the runway. I think a lot of that had to do with the players not being too happy. Noah Syndergaard, even before all those delays, said that this is not what championship teams do. They don't do all this travel, maybe prioritizing the Syracuse Mets stay in the Dome over getting some rest before opening day. Of course, Syndergaard, there was some controversy with him as well. Wanted a long-term extension for Jacob deGrom. He did that. The Mets did sign Jacob deGrom, so that quelled the tensions a little bit.
All right, well, despite all the gripes, how was the atmosphere in the Dome?
It was fantastic. Mickey Callaway, Mets manager, in his post-game presser, loved the fans giving the energy. Considering that awful travel schedule, the fans giving that energy was fantastic. Kids coming from all the way from school trips. The Syracuse Dome is the mecca around here. And get this, Justin, the first ever baseball event took place at the Dome with that Mets Day. First time baseball's ever been played at the Carrier Dome.
Well, that's fantastic. Chris, thank you so much for that. Coming up, Post Malone is making Crocs. Landon and I are bringing you the weirdest news of the week right after this break. Stay tuned on Syracuse Unpeeled.